don't know what they're talking about. My big problem with political YouTubers and all that is that 90% of them have never had a struggle once in their life. So they can't even relate to the opposite side, and not only can they not relate to the opposite side, their life experience is worthless.
Hey guys, it's Rice with the Argue Addicts. Today I'm joined with two of my friends, Hells and Kells. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and as always, enjoy the video.
Okay. Sure.
What's gooning?
Masturbating.
Oh, I had no clue that's what that meant.
We also, Kells. This isn't chronically online.
I am in my own bubble.
Yeah.
She is chronically online, just with different stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking
With
at cats
League of Legends and cats.
and yeah.
High key, pretty lame. All of her stuff, mad lame.
It's okay. I don't
Mad
have to
girly.
use it ever
Almost
again.
like she's a girl.
Hey, I like my space. I keep it nice and cozy. Respect that.
I was gonna make a MySpace joke, but I don't feel like it.
Breadtubers. I know Kells. we didn't entirely know what Breadtubers were up until like a few, I guess now hours ago. It's effectively just a very left-leaning influencer online. Excuse me. But I would more closely define a breadtuber as someone with very radical takes online that are left-leaning.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm pretty new to what Breadtubers are. Just for my summary, I just consider them like far left streamers.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, they're not
That's
always
just like
they're not always streamers. Some of them are just exclusively on YouTube. But yeah,
it's all the same thing.
That's fair.
Like,
Yeah. There are like some issues with them. Don't get me wrong. There are a few left-leaning YouTubers I wouldn't objectively call a breadtuber, just because like they're not so radical in their takes. They are very much open to discussion, and sometimes they do occasionally have a good take that I think everyone probably could agree on. But those individuals are like so few and far between. A good example of a bad breadtuber would probably be like Ethan is online, Nick is not.
oh yeah.
Denims is really bad, and I guess Hasanabi would be
Yes,
categorized
Hasan
as
is
a
definitely.
breadtuber. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
the only
not
one
that
I know.
great.
I know him.
For context, Gabby, the reason why a lot of these breadtubers are so bad, because again, like you can find a lot of
They're
left-leaning
all
YouTubers.
pedophiles.
I wouldn't say all that. There
I
are
would.
definitely some that give pedophilic vibes, but the reason I think they're all bad is because like in their little space, their little internet space, the only thing bad in their eyes, there's never any bad takes, just bad targets. So you'll never find a breadtuber that isn't a hypocrite, one way or another, right? So then you have Ethan is online, who's like constantly saying, "Don't make fun of people's appearances. Don't be an asshole. Don't say things that are just of bad taste." But then, like, if you have a person who doesn't have the same takes as Ethan is online, he'll call you a fat ass or he'll call you a balding motherfucker, which he does often. Which is just very hypocritical because Ethan is online is very much out of shape and he very much is balding. But because that other person he's going after,
That's funny.
Hey, bro, bald's funny.
yeah, right?
Bald also isn't that big a deal anymore.
It's not because you can just shave your head, right? And I think a lot of people look good with their head shaved.
I think you like men.
Facts. That's not the point.
I feel like I don't quite know enough, honestly. I just disagree with almost all their takes, and I just am frustrated that they make more money than me. I
That's fair.
don't like that they just have awful takes and they just stream and they're richer than me.
Mm-hmm. I don't like the idea that a lot of these breadtubers are the same reason you are, is that like they're so successful even though they don't say much and they don't say anything worth a damn. They're just
If I
like,
want to be like a little more objective and not make a joke like that, I think it would be a matter of You're dealing with people who have never picked up a philosophy book. They don't read. They don't know anything. They're uneducated, or they're educated in, a field that doesn't qualify them for anything. And a lot of them are nepotism babies and come from money. Almost all of them. Ironically, a lot of these breadtubers are minorities that come from money. So their opinions are just terrible because they just don't know what they're talking about. My big problem with political YouTubers and all that is that 90% of them have never had to struggle once in their life. So they can't even relate to the opposite side. And not only can they not relate to the opposite side, their life experience is worthless.
True. Yeah.
That's my big thing with most political YouTubers is most political YouTubers have takes that are only able to happen because you grew up in a upper middle class family.
This is where I really meet in the middle, because I think it's healthy and okay that every group has somewhere that they can gather, right? Community is very important in every aspect. Now, whether a community's feeding certain information that's lies or whatnot, I can't be the judge of that because I'm not very informed on this topic. But then, on the contrary, like, there's breadtubers, but then what's the opposite side? Is it like the Joe Rogans and Andrew
They don't
Tates
have a
of the
specific
internet?
name.
Yeah, but like, Joe Rogans and Andrew Tates of the world? Like, I'm not sure how to compare.
Honestly, they don't really have their own. There isn't really a right wing stream. Not really. I mean, the closest would probably be like Nick Fuentes, maybe. But like, because of all the censorship that right wingers had for literally over a decade now, like a lot of them don't have anything. Like there's not like it's starting to be a thing now because things are laxing up with Twitter being bought and all that. But like honestly, there's just not a lot of right wing streamers at all.
I would say that people like Nick Fuentes and Andrew Tate are a bit more on the extreme right side. If you want to see
So I guess
direct,
that'd be the comparison. Yeah, that would be a comparison.
I would say like the more direct opposition to breadtubers would be like other debate streamers that are a bit more centrist than right leaning. Like Destiny would be a good example because Destiny isn't right wing or left wing. He's actually arguably a bit more left wing, but because a lot of these breadtubers have like a lot of bad takes and a lot of bad arguments, Destiny doesn't really associate himself with them. Another good example would be like Ice Poseidon or Turkey Tom Dark, who follow like more logic and reasoning than like a set right or left argument style, I guess we would say.
Well, I don't know. My take on this is that I think people are allowed to create the content that they want, personally. And
fair.
if they find traction in that, then that's okay. Like, they've built their community, and props to them. That's all I have to say. Sorry, I suck at this
No,
one.
I mean that's a better response than anything.
Yeah, I mean this is the thing. If you're not,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not super knowledgeable about it either, so it is what it is.
So Twitch over other platforms in terms of like streaming and stuff like that. I made it very clear I don't like Twitch. I really despise Twitch as a platform. I think they're very predatory by nature, and I think they're very hypocritical. They have a lot of favoritism going around, and they make a lot of bad decisions, which is why they're now going under fire and they're losing a lot of their sponsors.
Market share, if you want to use a cool term.
Oh yeah, they're
You want to
losing a lot
pretend
of
like
things
you know
right
what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're losing quite a bit. But what do you guys think about Twitch, the platform?
Go ahead, my girl cows.
I use Twitch almost daily.
Oh boy.
But it doesn't mean I'm like its world's biggest fan. Like, you know what I mean? I go to it to like see the content creators that I like, and content creators that I like have been banned left and right all the time, right? They say one thing that Twitch doesn't like, and then they're gone for 2 weeks or whatever.
Right.
And no one knows why. Because they don't publicly say why someone's banned ever. Twitch does not release any kind of statements or nothing like that. I totally agree that there is a lot of favoritism, right? And they had the new CEO come in, and he tries to act all cool and hip, and he, streams himself and whatnot. But I really think their policies are like so random and circling back to League of Legends with Riot Games, like Riot Games also does a lot of favoritism. They practically banned this guy Tyler One, and now Tyler One's like one of their one of their people they're getting at all these events and stuff and praising him, and because people like him. He's loud, he's funny, but he loves the game anyways. So I think a lot of these big online platforms and stages always play favoritism on what's going to make them the most money. And when someone says something they don't like, they're on the dark list. You know what I mean? Like they're done.
My issue with Twitch isn't exactly with the people who view Twitch or Twitch streamers. My main issue is with
It's
Twitch
all
as a
you,
platform.
Kals. He hates you.
Well,
Yeah, fuck you,
well, that's
Cal.
what I was talking about. I'm saying like these the platforms, like they make their own rules, which I mean it's their own company, which is fine. But a lot of policies and rules have been changed in like the last year. And people have to completely censor or change their content, and Patreons are booming, so people can actually watch what people produce, right?
Yeah. I think Twitch as a platform is just so hypocritical. And I don't even think it was just within the last year. I think it's been a thing ever since they opened up the Just Chat channel. Because there was a point in time where Twitch was just like for streamers who were gaming, right? Who did nothing but play video games on stream. And I don't think the Just Chat channel is objectively bad, but it definitely brought a lot of bad things to the platform that people just want to ride so fucking hard. I don't know if you guys are aware of any of the controversies in the past of like a guy getting banned off the platform for not having a shirt on. But
Oh, really?
yeah,
Yes.
That's hypocritical.
it's super hypocritical because it was only like a year or two ago where I think her name was like Morg's Pie was on her stream literally naked,
Well, that goes
shaking
to
her
hell.
tits back and forth. And I think she only got a suspension of a few weeks.
Well, yes, I remember like when pools, hot tubs, and beaches, like the literal category on Twitch, was like huge. And I mean, we can't talk about this without talking about Amaranth. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
So like Amaranth comes hand in hand with, appealing to a certain viewership.
The Gooners.
Practically,
I taught you
right?
the word. I taught you the word. Use it.
Well, I don't know if it's a bad word. I don't want to be saying stuff. I'm scared that I use the word incel. You know what I mean? Like I might get canceled over the word incel.
Kels.
The Gooner.
But anyways,
Kels.
Licking it.
Jesus.
oh my god. But like, people like one of her mods or whatever like met her and like, or maybe he didn't meet her, but I remember there's all this drama about her mod, right? And how he like practically fell in love with her, and he's like, I spend hours and hours and hours a week watching you and moderating for, and you don't have any feelings for me, that kind of appeal. But then that's when, like,
weird.
but Kick doesn't have these type of rules, right? Kick is a very like open, kind of do whatever you want type thing. Is Kick the same thing as Rumble?
I don't think they're the same platform. But I think for all intents and purposes they work the same, and that you can kind of just do whatever you want.
Is
Yes.
Kick the thing we used to text on as kids?
No, that's KIK. Kick is like you kicked a ball.
Oh, I thought
KICK.
they just made their own streaming thing.
Yeah, so Kick is like the new competitor to Twitch now, next to YouTube, and they have less rules on censorship. You're not gonna get banned for slipping a nip, I don't think. And
As a
But
statement.
yeah, I don't know about Kick though, like what their restrictions are and stuff. Like on Twitch, you have to be 13, I think, in order to have an account.
I think
But
getting banned or getting kicked off of Kick, you would have to get deeply hated by the community. I think that's the only crux. I think if you can do whatever you want as long as people don't hate you.
Oh, okay. But I don't know. I personally think it's a good thing that Twitch doesn't allow, like, nude streaming and whatnot, because like there's obviously going to be kids on this platform. I mean, think of, there's people like Jinxie and Joe Bartolozzi and Queso. Like they're of course kids are watching them. You know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah.
funny and some of them are very clean, some of them aren't, like in terms of like their language and whatnot. But
Right.
they're playing games like Minecraft and Fortnite and the games that are like popular right now, Sonic and whatever.
Hmm.
But I see your point and where they're hypocritical because like, when they want the rules change.
Yeah, but I mean, like, keeping consideration like what's going on recently with Twitch, even with all that in mind, yeah, there are kids on the platform, and because everyone is easily accessible on Twitch, you might end up having a kid watching terrorism propaganda promoted by Hassan Abi, who is currently the face of Twitch as well. So I mean, like, if there are kids on the platform, if we're saying that there are going to be kids on the platform, we either need to have the standard of like kids can only have access to X amount of viewer or X amount of channels, like Queso or like Jinxie, or we just need to make sure like kids can't be allowed on the platform at all.
Yeah. I mean, they do have, the maturity rating stuff, just like YouTube has. You
Hmm.
have to be like, oh, how old are you? This is intended for mature audiences.
Yeah,
But like anyone can like rig that system and go around it. I
that's
I
true.
think you just pretty much press OK and start watching, right?
That is a
I
bit
don't
more on
even
the
remember.
parents though now.
Oh yeah,
Uh huh.
for sure, for sure.
I'm not gonna be a hypocrite and say like I've never done that. I remember when I was like 13 or 15, I definitely lied about my age on some platforms just to get access to them, like on YouTube and stuff like that. But um, I'm not gonna blame whatever YouTuber I was watching on the time or whatever platform I was on at the time lying about my age on for me breaking the rules. That was definitely more on me
Mhm.
than anything
Now
else.
we all have an idea. It's okay. You don't have to be ashamed about it. We get it.
I
What are you?
100% did that all the time. Are you kidding me? I never tell the truth.
I
Yeah.
cannot tell you the things I've seen Hell's save screen when we were like 15 or whatever. I walked
Oh boy.
time.
Jesus.
And like his screensavers were definitely not good. I won't specify here, but just picture it.
I don't want to, but I think I see where this is
Hey
going.
man, it's horny teenagers.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
that's all
Fair
you need to
enough.
know.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from, where it's like Twitch isn't entirely bad. I do think that there's a lot of issues on Twitch that need to be addressed, and they can only really be addressed and solved if we remove like 50% of the content on their platform. But that kind of like loops you in this weird circle of whether or not we want to censor people and stuff like that. So it's kind of weird. Um, I think if Twitch wasn't originally a platform exclusively for gaming and then like made their way into what it is now, I don't think it'd be as much of a problem. Because Kick isn't a problem in my eyes, but Twitch definitely is.
Okay,
I
I
think
see
they
what
just
you're saying.
yeah, I think they're just backtracking a lot of their original values, and they're like going back on their current values as well with a lot of their current uh, current Twitch streamers. But it might not be the initial problem of the platform itself. It might just be a more of a problem with the streamers.
I kind of missed that earlier when like your intention was like I see now. Like you're talking about how as a platform it was meant for gaming and now it's got just chatting and hot tubs and beaches and you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like all these new categories
Yeah.
that people can explore when like it wasn't really meant for that. I can understand like where you're coming from now.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to like the bread tubing to like make the connection, right?
Yeah.
Like I think, you know, even though it is a platform that was intended, for people to just game and whatnot, like I don't think it's harmful to have people to create communities with like-minded others.
I mean, fair, but like I
Or
think it is a bit more harmful to set unfair standards. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you can't have someone say something a little unfavorably and then ban them for a few months, or someone who's a bit more controversial for like doing really stupid things get banned off the platform, and then you have someone who's having sex on stream get like suspended for 2 weeks.
Yeah, and like I mean, it makes me think back to like the Asmongold topic we were talking about earlier. Like Hassan Abi can say one thing about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and then Asmongold might say something else, and he gets banned, but the other guy didn't. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I know, like, don't get me wrong, Asmongold did say something very strong and charged, basically about, you know, I think it was something along the lines of genocide was good or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That's not me. That's not my belief.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's, you know, he said a comment that was kind of led to be that belief of his and whatnot. But it's kind of like, yeah, what is the standard? There is none. It's whether they like that you said it or not.